friends. Have you noticed that the people who hurt you the most are often not your enemies, but the people whose opinions you care about too much? A stranger writes something negative online and suddenly your mood changes. Someone ignores your message and your mind starts creating stories. A co-worker gets recognition and you begin comparing yourself. One criticism, one rejection, one disrespectful comment and your peace disappears. Why? Because somewhere along the way, we were taught that we must react to everything. We must defend ourselves, explain ourselves, prove ourselves. But the Stoics believed something completely different. They believed that reacting to everything is a sign of weakness, while choosing what deserves your attention is true power. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that people will misunderstand you, criticize you and disappoint you, but none of those things can harm your character unless you allow them to enter your mind. Think about it. How many sleepless nights have been caused by something that didn't deserve your energy? How many times have you suffered because you couldn't ignore what was meaningless? In today's world, where everyone is fighting for attention, where negativity spreads faster than peace, the ability to ignore has become a superpower. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why ignoring is not weakness, why silence is not surrender, and why the strongest people are often the ones who stop reacting. Friends, most people believe power means speaking louder, arguing harder, and proving everyone wrong. But Stoicism teaches something different. Real power comes from self-control. Not every battle deserves your participation. Not every opinion deserves your response. Not every person deserves access to your emotions. Yet most people spend their lives exhausted because they are trying to answer everyone, impress everyone, and defend themselves against people who don't even matter. They carry stress that doesn't belong to them. They lose sleep over comments, gossip, and temporary opinions. Slowly, they become prisoners of other people's thoughts. The truth is, your attention is your most valuable currency. Wherever your attention goes, your life follows. And modern society is designed to steal that attention. Social media, negativity, comparisons, endless drama, and toxic relationships all compete for one thing: your mind. And the greatest mistake you can make is giving your energy to things that don't deserve it. Why people suffer? Sometimes people don't break because life is hard. They break because they react to everything. Someone ignores them and they overthink for hours. Someone criticizes them and they replay it for days. Someone succeeds and they compare themselves for months. But suffering often comes not from events, but from our attachment to them. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by things, but by the meaning they give to things. In modern life, this is even more dangerous because we are constantly connected. One negative comment can ruin an entire day. One rejection can destroy confidence. One failed relationship can make someone question their worth. But what if not everything deserved a response? What if some things deserved silence? What if peace came not from controlling the world, but from controlling your attention? The power of selective ignorance. Selective ignorance is not pretending problems don't exist. It means refusing to waste your emotions on things beyond your control. You ignore gossip because it changes nothing. You ignore jealousy because comparison steals joy. You ignore unnecessary arguments because winning debates doesn't always mean winning life. You ignore insults because your value doesn't decrease because someone fails to recognize it. The strongest people are not those who react to everything. They are the ones who know what deserves their attention. Modern society rewards outrage. Stoicism rewards peace. Society says, answer immediately. Stoicism says, think before reacting. Society says, prove yourself. Stoicism says, let your actions speak. And perhaps the greatest freedom in life is realizing that you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Ignoring toxic people is self-respect. One of the hardest lessons in life is understanding that not everyone deserves a place in your mind. We spend years trying to change people who have already decided who they want to be. We explain ourselves repeatedly, hoping they'll understand us. We forgive the same behavior again and again, hoping they'll appreciate our kindness. But sometimes kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. Stoicism teaches that you cannot control another person's character, but you can control how much access they have to your peace. Think about the people who constantly bring negativity into your life. Maybe it's someone who only calls when they need something. Maybe it's a friend who secretly enjoys your failures. Maybe it's someone who criticizes everything you do and somehow always leaves you feeling smaller than before. Deep down, you know they drain your energy, but you stay because you fear loneliness. But Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that we become like the things we surround ourselves with. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, eventually negativity becomes normal. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is quietly walk away. Not because you hate them, not because you want revenge, but because your peace matters more than proving a point. You don't owe everyone your attention. You don't owe everyone an explanation. And you certainly don't owe your mental health to people who don't value it. Why you should ignore criticism from the wrong people. Criticism is unavoidable. No matter what you do, someone will dislike you. If you are quiet, they'll call you boring. If you speak confidently, they'll call you arrogant. If you chase success, they'll say you've changed. If you stay humble, they'll say you lack ambition. Trying to please everyone is one of the fastest ways to lose yourself. Modern society has created a strange problem. People are receiving opinions from strangers who don't know their struggles, dreams, or sacrifices. One comment on social media can make someone question their entire worth. One insult from someone unhappy with their own life can ruin someone's confidence. But why should you let people who don't understand your journey define your value? Epictetus said that if someone speaks badly of you, remember that they only know the version of you they have created in their own mind. They don't know your battles. They don't know your fears. They don't know the nights you cried in silence, or the mornings you forced yourself to keep going. So why give strangers authority over your happiness? The truth is, people who are focused on building their own lives rarely spend time tearing down others. Those who criticize the loudest are often fighting battles inside themselves. Their negativity says more about them than about you. And sometimes the greatest response is no response. The art of ignoring social media comparison. One of the biggest causes of anxiety today is comparison. Every day, millions of people wake up and immediately begin comparing themselves with others. Someone bought a new car. Someone got married. Someone traveled abroad. Someone became successful at 23. And suddenly your own life feels small. But what you see online is rarely reality. Social media shows highlights, not struggles. People show victories but hide failures. They post smiles but hide loneliness. They share achievements but never the sleepless nights, the doubts and the pain behind them. Marcus Aurelius never had Instagram, but his advice is more relevant today than ever. He warned against becoming distracted by what other people are doing, because the moment you focus too much on someone else's path, you stop walking your own. Your timeline is different. Your struggles are different. Your story is different. Success is not a race against others. It's a battle against the person you were yesterday. And the moment you stop comparing yourself to everyone around you, you finally begin to live in peace. Why silence terrifies people. Have you noticed something interesting? Silence makes insecure people uncomfortable. They expect reactions. They expect arguments. They expect explanations. They expect anger. But when you remain calm, something strange happens. They lose control. People often think silence means weakness, but silence is sometimes the strongest answer. When someone insults you and you don't react, they become confused. When someone tries to provoke you and you remain peaceful, they lose power over you. Because manipulators survive on reactions. Toxic people feed on emotions. But when you refuse to give them what they want, their influence disappears. This doesn't mean becoming cold or emotionless. Stoicism isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about mastering them. It's about deciding that not every insult deserves your anger, and not every misunderstanding deserves your energy. Remember this. Just because someone hands you negativity doesn't mean you have to accept it. If a stranger offered you a bag of garbage, would you take it? Of course not. So why accept emotional garbage from people who don't matter? 7 Stoic lessons to become unbreakable. First, not everything deserves your attention. Most things that disturb you today won't matter a year from now. Second, protect your energy like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Third, never argue with people committed to misunderstanding you. Understanding requires willingness, and some people simply don't have it. Fourth, your peace is more valuable than winning arguments. Many battles are victories disguised as losses. Fifth, loneliness is better than bad company. Temporary loneliness heals. Toxic company destroys slowly. Sixth, stop seeking validation. People change their opinions constantly. Build your confidence on your values, not their approval. Seventh, remember that your mind becomes whatever you feed it. Feed it gratitude, wisdom, discipline, and purpose instead of anger, envy, and resentment. Friends, the truth is simple. Most people are emotionally exhausted, not because life is unfair, but because they are carrying things they were never meant to carry. They carry insults. They carry opinions. They carry comparisons. They carry expectations, and all of that weight slowly destroys their peace. But maybe strength isn't about carrying more. Maybe strength is about learning what to put down. Maybe real power isn't reacting to everything. Maybe real power is choosing what deserves your attention and having the courage to ignore the rest. How to train your mind to become emotionally untouchable. Friends, mastering the art of ignoring isn't something that happens overnight. Just like the body becomes stronger through training, the mind also becomes stronger through practice. Most people wait for life to become easier, but Stoicism teaches something different. Life doesn't become easier. You become stronger. Problems don't disappear. You learn how to face them without losing yourself. Start by understanding one truth. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you water grows. If you constantly feed it fear, comparisons, and negativity, anxiety will grow. But if you feed it gratitude, discipline, and wisdom, peace will grow. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Every morning before checking your phone, spend a few moments with yourself. Most people wake up and immediately enter someone else's world. Notifications, messages, social media, endless distractions. And before they even begin their day, their peace has already been stolen. The Stoics believed that the first battle of the day is not with the world, but with your own mind. Ask yourself simple questions. What is under my control today? What deserves my energy? What problems am I creating in my mind that don't actually exist? You would be surprised how many things disappear when you stop feeding them with attention. Friends, one of the greatest skills you can develop is emotional distance, not emotional coldness. Emotional distance. There is a difference. Emotional coldness means you stop caring about everyone. Emotional distance means you stop allowing everyone to control how you feel. You still love, you still care, but you no longer allow temporary events to destroy your inner peace. Think about how many things once seemed like the end of the world. That rejection you cried over, that friendship you lost, that failure that made you question yourself. At that time, you thought life was over. But look at yourself now. You survived. And maybe that's one of the greatest lessons life teaches us. Most things we worry about eventually become memories. Yet we sacrifice our peace over things that time will erase. A story about letting go. There was a young man who spent years trying to make everyone happy. He answered every criticism. He argued with everyone who misunderstood him. He chased approval from people who never appreciated him. He feared disappointing others more than disappointing himself. Slowly, he became exhausted. He smiled in front of others but felt empty inside. Every opinion affected him. Every rejection destroyed his confidence. Every negative comment stayed in his mind for days. One day, after another sleepless night, he asked an old man, "Why do I suffer so much?" The old man smiled and handed him a glass of water. "Hold this." After a few minutes, the young man said, "It's easy." After an hour, his arm started hurting. After several hours, the pain became unbearable. The old man asked, "Did the weight of the glass change?" "No." "Then why does it hurt?" "'Cause I've been holding it for too long." The old man smiled and said, "Your problems are the same. Think about them for a moment and it's manageable. Hold on to them for hours, days, and years, and they become unbearable. Learn when to put the glass down. Friends, that's what ignoring really means. It means putting the glass down. It means refusing to carry burdens that don't belong to you. It means understanding that peace is not found by controlling everything around you. Peace is found by controlling what you allow inside your mind. The hardest person to ignore is yourself. Sometimes the enemy isn't other people. Sometimes it's the voice inside your own head. The voice that says you're not good enough. The voice that reminds you of your mistakes. The voice that compares your life to others. But remember this, you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Just because your mind says something doesn't make it true. Fear lies, doubt lies, anxiety lies, and many people spend their entire lives believing stories created by their own minds. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, not because he was weak, but because even he needed reminders. Even emperors struggled with negative thoughts. Even great men had fears, but they learned to observe those thoughts without becoming prisoners of them. Friends, stop punishing yourself for being human. Stop expecting perfection. Stop demanding that you have everything figured out. Life is not a race. You are allowed to grow slowly. You are allowed to fail. You are allowed to start again. Because strength isn't never falling. Strength is standing up one more time than life knocks you down. One day, people who ignored you will notice your success. One day, people who doubted you will wonder how you became so strong. One day, the things that once broke your heart won't even cross your mind. But don't become successful to prove them wrong. Become peaceful to prove yourself right. Become disciplined because your future deserves it. Become wise because wisdom lasts longer than emotions. Become strong because life demands strength. And above all, protect your mind because everything you will ever become starts there. The world is full of noise, full of opinions, full of distractions, but not everything deserves your attention. The greatest power you possess is the ability to decide what enters your mind and what stays outside. Because ignoring isn't weakness. Ignoring isn't running away. Ignoring is power. Friends, if there's one thing I want you to remember from this video, it's this. You don't have to react to everything. You don't have to prove yourself to everyone. You don't have to carry every insult, every opinion, every disappointment, and every expectation. Life becomes lighter when you stop carrying things that were never yours. Protect your peace, guard your mind, choose your battles carefully, and remember that silence is often louder than anger. Patience is stronger than revenge. And ignoring what doesn't matter is one of the greatest forms of wisdom. Years from now, people won't remember every argument you won. They won't remember every opinion someone had about you. But you will remember whether you lived with peace or with constant anxiety. So choose peace, choose discipline, choose wisdom, and choose yourself. If this video helped you see life differently, make sure to subscribe and become part of the Stoic Power family, where together we learn the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and transform ourselves into stronger, calmer, and wiser men. Until next time, remember, control your mind, protect your peace, and never let the noise of the world become louder than the voice within. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and stay powerful. This is Stoic Power.